Hi and welcome to Mike's Corner. This is the second episode of the AliExpress Streaming Challenge. Now, in this series of videos, we're taking some cheap kind of webcams, keyboards, mice, stuff like that we would use to set up a streaming setup on the cheap. Let's not forget, on the cheap. Now, this episode's all about webcams. So last year we had a look at two webcams. They were both pretty bad. I mean, pretty bad. Complete fake advertising on them that were nowhere near 2K webcams or even HD webcams for that matter. So let's have a look at the latest offering with the NUROUM 2K webcam. Let's get unboxing.
Let's get right onto this. Will it be a win or be a miss? It's the AliExpress Streaming Challenge. What items will we unbox today? It's the AliExpress Streaming Challenge. Wonderful things might be coming your way. Let's get right onto this. Will it be a win or be a miss? It's the AliExpress Streaming Challenge. What items will we unbox today? It's the AliExpress Streaming Challenge. The boxes will be crushed, but wonderful things may be coming your way.
Here we have the NUROUM 2K webcam. Look at this. It says 2K on the box. Now, last year's cameras also said what they were on the box, but they definitely weren't what they said. It's got a 90% field of view, two microphones, interesting, and of course it's USB. Now, there's not really anything to talk of on the box. There is a seal on here, and you've got the AliExpress label and some other labels on here as well. So let's get this box open and see what it looks like on the inside. Right, let's get this open. Right. Here we go. I wonder what this looks like. Oh, God, it's really in there. It does not want to come out. There we go. Okay, so we have some instructions. And what's this? This is a warranty. It's got a warranty card. Look at this. It's actually got a warranty card. No webcam that I've got from AliExpress has a warranty card. That's interesting. So, and we have the instructions, version 1 of the instructions. Oh my God, how big are these instructions? It's just a webcam, right? Plug it in, point it, job done. So, yeah. There's a big load of instructions here, but it's obviously multi-language, which, again, this is a first for AliExpress stuff for us. Normally, you would get your Chinese instructions and your English instructions. That would be it. But to actually have basically multiple languages on it is, for me, on an AliExpress unboxing, pretty rare. So now on to the main attraction. Now, it does worry me a little bit that that's just a standard USB plug, not USB 3 or anything like that. Standard USB plug. For a high quality camera, you kind of want a faster USB connector. That doesn't bode well that it's actually just this basic speed of USB. Let's have a look at the actual camera itself. Okay, oh, little privacy shutter on there. That's nice. It's got a nice smooth motion as well. Ah, that's cool as well. It's actually got the add-on that you can screw on adapters and have it on stands if you really wanted to. So yes, there are indeed two microphones on this camera. One there, one there. Little slidey thing, love that. It is a fixed cable, unlike the Brios where you can actually just unplug the USB cable from the back of the camera. This is fixed in the camera. Quite a nice weight to it. Doesn't mean that there's a piece of lead in there. It's in all honesty, it feels quite a nice quality. Doesn't feel cheap. That, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Now, when we plug it in, obviously, it might look like hot garbage. Hopefully not on this particular one. But let's get this unraveled, get it plugged in. Well, before we do that, let's talk about the quality of the cable. Not very thick, in all honesty. Yeah, the cable doesn't feel very high quality, and it's very thin. In the end is, it's just a USB cable, and it's a cheap USB cable, sadly. But I mean, it's letting the camera down in the quality of the camera, the way it feels in my hand. Looking at the actual lens in there does appear to be a larger size camera in there. But is it? Let's get it plugged in and find out. So before we try out the NUROUM camera, this is how I look on my Logitech 4K webcam, as we all know. Now let's get it swapped out and switch over to the NUROUM. So you now join me on the NUROUM V11 webcam, and color-wise, it's pretty good. I mean, there are colors, which some of the things we did on AliExpress ones before didn't really have any colors. However, no focus. I'm looking at myself, looking at this. There's no focus on this camera. And as you can tell by that, stuff in the background is not in focus. Now, if I switch over to my Brio again, as you can see on the Brio, I'm in focus. Everything's in focus. And quite bright, quite light, all colorful. Switch back to the NUROUM. It's not very bright, if you know what I mean. I've got a lot of light going on here. I've got lights here, I've got lights here, I've got lights here. I've got this massive light on top of me, and it seems dark in here, but there is zero camera controls, absolutely nothing. No focus, no color balance, nothing. This camera is as it comes out the box with zero adjustments. And I really don't like that in a webcam. I mean, maybe I'm spoiled by the Brio, where I can literally change every feature of the webcam. And going into a settings of this one, it's just all grayed out. Everything's grayed out. There is zero adjustments on here. So that's a bit of a downer for me. The color is good. I quite like the color. It's not black and white like some of the older ones. It's just blurry in the background, and that's a pet peeve for me. If you're just using it as a webcam, fair enough. For a streaming camera, it might work. So let's knock it down in some resolutions and see if we can notice if it actually is a 2K camera or something else in disguise. So before we knock it down, this is actually running at 2K resolution at the moment at 60 frames per second. So can't see any delay when I'm doing this, which is quite nice. Now we're going to knock it down to the next resolution and see how it runs then. So we're now running at 1920 by 1080, and not much real difference in the actual image quality. So could this be a 2K cam, or could this be a 1920 by 1080 cam disguising as a 2K cam? We should get some close-ups to actually see if we can see the difference between the two resolutions. But before we do that, let's knock it down another res. So now we're running at 1280 by 720. And is there a difference between the higher up resolutions, or is this a lower quality camera disguised as a 2K camera? So here we have a close-up of my rear shelves at 1280 by 720. So here we have a close-up of my rear shelves at 1920 by 1080. And here we have a close-up of my rear shelves at 2K. So that's 2560 by 1440. I am not seeing much difference at all. And this could also be down to the fact this has no focus whatsoever. So we may have to also run this at close-up. So here we have a close-up of the microphone, and that's running at 2K. So here we have another close-up of the microphone at 1920. And here we have the last close-up at 1280. So here we have the NUROUM V11 webcam, and it's actually okay close up. Looking at myself in the monitor here and looking at myself here close up, it actually looks really good. I mean, I look pretty clear. You can see all the wrinkles and all the bits and all the hair. It actually doesn't look too bad. And going through my video I've just taken of the close-ups, I can see there is definitely quality differences. Now, in the cameras we've had previously, there was no quality differences when we went from the highest res it could do to the lowest res it could do. The lowest res was the highest res it could do. It was just fake. But with this one, we are actually seeing close up, not far away. We're seeing a difference in the quality, especially with the actual microphone shielding here. You can actually see it get a bit more blurrier, every change of the actual webcam resolution. So is this a 2K webcam? I would say yes. Is it a 60 frames per second 2K webcam? No, I would say that's very debatable. I did try to change from 30 to 60 frames per second. There was no change, literally no change. So I would say this is 2K 30 frames per second webcam, or the actual difference between a 30 and a 60. It didn't even initialize any difference. When I switched it over, there was no change in the video, nothing at all. So I'm going to say this is a 2K 30 frames per second webcam, which for streaming doesn't seem too bad. Now, how much was this webcam? So yes, let's go back to the Brio and talk about how much the NUROUM cost. So the NUROUM was £15 and 59p. £15 and 59p. It's not cheap, but it's not dear, and it wasn't too bad, in all honesty. The colors were good. The close-up focus was good. Let down by the rear focus, in all honesty, let down by that. Now, my Brio is set up on a fixed focal or focus, and it can still focus in the background, but obviously the NUROUM can't. But not bad. It's better than any other webcam we've checked from AliExpress, so that's a thumbs up, right? So this brings me to the end of this video, and the NUROUM, I think it's actually going to be okay for streaming, especially when you're doing a close-up of yourself and you've got yourself rammed into the corner while you're doing your videos. I actually think this camera is gonna work. So with that said, if you thought this was a good video, or if you thought, it was handy for you, think about whacking the like and subscribe. Really helps me out. Click the thumbs up. Look how clear it is this close up. This is insane. This is literally that far from my face. And how clear is this camera? Why can't I adjust the focal? Because this would be awesome. So maybe I should take it apart and just the actual lens. That might actually work. So just when you thought it was the end of the video, what's this? What's this I've done? So as you can see, I've taken the camera apart. Now, if you ever want to get one of these and do this mod, you have to take the faceplate off. Okay, this bit here. Once you remove that, there's 4 screws. Okay, take those off. Then there's a microphone ribbon cable that connects to this little connector in here. You have to take that off. And then what you need to do is around here, it has this kind of glue. Okay, so what I did, I got my scalpel out and I started basically picking the glue out. Now, Mike, you're probably saying, what's the point in this? Let me show you the point. Look at this. Look at this. Look how much better it's working. This is insane. So there's an adjustment on the actual lens that you can actually make it go closer or further away. but it's a fixed lens, okay, so there's no motor servo there. However, if you're taking all that glue out, you can actually unscrew the lens and focus it. Look at this! This is so much better! My God! Maybe I just had a faulty one. Who knows? But this looks good. I'm ending the video there.